President Trump is denying a report that he called fallen U.S. soldiers losers and suckers.
We've got new reporting from The Atlantic about why the president canceled a trip to visit fallen American soldiers in France back in 2018.
In a conversation with senior staff members on the morning of the scheduled visit, Trump said, quote, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers."
To think that I would make statements negative to our military and our fallen heroes when nobody's done what I've done with the budgets, with the military budgets, with getting pay raises for our military. It is a disgraceful situation by a magazine that's a terrible magazine. I don't read it, but I just heard about it. They made it up, and probably it's a couple of people that have been failures in the administration that I got rid of.
The story starts out by saying that the president did not go to the World War I cemetery because he was afraid that the rain would mess up his hair. Now, we have an account of that day from John Bolton's memoir, and he talked about how it was unsafe to fly helicopters because of the weather.
Nowhere is it mentioned in the book, nor did he say this morning that the word suckers or losers ever emanated from the president's mouth. And a former administration official with whom I checked this morning concurred that that did not happen. That, according to two sources I talked to today, on both sides of the fence, it didn't happen.
Yes, it certainly is.
Wow. It's a pretty big discrepancy in reporting there.
The sources, by the way, for the article were anonymous. Steve?
Funny how that always works that way.
Yes,
Griff,
exactly.
Thank you very much for that live report.
Always anonymous sources. This happened supposedly 2 years ago. Now we're finding out about it 60 days before the election. And by the way, the Trump campaign got scores of people on the record who are also there saying that's of course not at all what we heard or saw.
Why aren't those people coming forward and putting their names to these quotes? I think that's a big question for the morning, Don. Where are these sources? Who are these sources? And will any of them go on the record now?
I'm curious why these people did want to go on the record. We're 2 months from an election, and these are horrible insults to service members.
We've both experienced why people don't want to go. They don't want to be inundated with angry tweets and all the rest.
He did call McCain a loser. He did it twice, in a tweet and when he initially attacked him being a war hero.
I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
I mean, Trump has a categorical aversion to empathy. The cruelty has been always central to Trump's brand.
We have heard from the president's own sister that she considers him a liar with no principles.
Donald Trump is the most selfish person in public service in American history.
Donald Trump doesn't understand service, doesn't understand doing something for someone else in the greater good.
Donald Trump sees military parades the way dictators do. And so, even though he thinks the military is for losers and suckers, for years now, Donald Trump has been trying to mount a military parade in Washington, not to honor the troops and their sacrifice, but to honor their commander-in-chief.
Normally, the denials from the president and his aides would carry some weight. But for 3.5 years, the White House has squandered its credibility to the point where its words are essentially worthless and the denials mean very little.
I feel like we should be asking a psychologist where this comes from, frankly. I think that it's projection. I think that he's been so rejected. We've seen him attacking transgender troops who are trying to serve our country and acting like they're not good enough. And I say that it has to come from a place where he knows he's not good enough.
Joe Biden reacted to the article in a statement saying, quote, "If the revelations in today's Atlantic article are true, then they are yet another marker of how deeply President Trump and I disagree about the role of the President of the United States."